Faced with the price Taoist Taihua quoted, the shop's second manager tilted his head, doubting his own ears. He asked again, "How much did you say?" 50,000 taels. Seeing the manager's hesitation, Taihua wagged his finger and emphasized, "That's right. Not a penny less." Meanwhile, Changyu's mind was miles away. His expression was grim as he thought, "Master, can you please be reliable just once? What kind of painting could possibly be worth 50,000 taels?" Suddenly, the manager narrowed his eyes and let out a hearty laugh. 50,000 taels? A fine 50,000 taels indeed. The old manager's judgment was spot on. These two were certainly no amateurs. Looks like I won't be getting a massive bargain this time. Then, under the dumbfounded gazes of Taoist Taihua and Changyu, he continued, "In that case, let's get straight to the point. Although 50,000 taels is an astronomical price for the works of layman Qinglian, it is indeed not impossible." As soon as these words were spoken, both Taihua and Changyu wore expressions of "Who am I? Where am I?" They were secretly terrified. 50,000 taels is actually not impossible. It took a moment for Taoist Taihua to process the manager's words, and his jaw dropped. Breaking into a cold sweat, he thought in disbelief, "No way, right? I only quoted that number to try and scam a high price on a whim. What kind of painting is worth 50,000 taels? Something fishy is going on here." He was completely petrified, eyes rolling back in confusion. He tried to force a smile to calm himself down. "Steady, steady. At a time like this I must stay calm and fish for more information by playing along." In an instant, Taoist Taihua folded his arms, narrowed his eyes, and lifted his chin, regaining his usual composure as he began to bluff. "That's right, you should have said so sooner. To tell you the truth, we've already checked the prices at other shops. Your shop isn't the only one that knows the name of layman Qinglian." Upon hearing this, the manager beamed and replied with a hint of embarrassment, "Quite right. Layman Qinglian's name is indeed no secret in our industry. Although he has only risen to prominence recently, he is already hailed as the first talent in the Jin Kingdom." He imagined a refined young man holding a brush, composing literature with an ethereal, transcendent grace. Not only is his calligraphy exquisite and at the absolute peak of the craft, but his painting skills are also unparalleled. The manager's imagination began to run wild as he described the mysterious youth with glowing eyes. Wherever his brush touched, a golden light as fierce as fire would radiate from the paper. Even cultivators felt compelled to lean in and observe every single one of layman Qinglian's paintings. The manager continued his praise. Currently in the Jin Kingdom, countless women are infatuated with his poetry. Some fanatical female fans even sleep with layman Qinglian scrolls under their pillows, fantasizing about meeting their beloved. The manager added that they spent entire nights imagining his face. Furthermore, men could not resist the charm of this artistic genius either, offering endless praise. The manager went on to say that countless arrogant scholars had lowered their pride just to imitate his work. This unprecedented style of painting has even transcended the era, sparking a renaissance in the art world. Scholars of all ages find themselves compelled to stop and admire layman Qinglian's superlative works. Every painting possesses a divine spirit and radiates a dazzling golden spiritual power that captures everyone's attention. Suddenly recalling that empty, lonely, and desolate house, the manager said sentimentally, "Alas, it is only a pity that by the time his works were discovered, he had already gone into seclusion. His whereabouts are unknown, and you haven't had the honor of seeing his true face." His imagination flared again, depicting the genius painter walking into the deep mountains while 2 rows of solemn cultivators stood in awe. The manager lamented, "Since ancient times scholars have held the highest status. What learned man doesn't want to make a name for himself and achieve great things to be respected? Yet this layman Qinglian treats fame and fortune like dirt and walked away with such grace. How can we not feel both ashamed and full of admiration? Don't you two agree?" After listening, Taoist Taihua and Changyu stood as still as wooden chickens, their faces screaming, "What the hell is going on?" as they thought, "Did I hear that right? Does this mean junior brother, my silly disciple?" Suddenly, proving that the older the ginger, the spicier it is, Taoist Taihua remained unfazed. He flashed a professional smile and spoke like a machine. "Precisely, it's exactly as we heard." This caused Changyu to turn his head in shock, wondering privately, "Master is lying to him." Meanwhile, the manager happily chimed in, "Then the two of you must have heard this painting has one major flaw. It is a portrait. Compared to the pure landscapes he excels at, the value is indeed worlds apart." These words made Changyu's heart tighten. He scratched his head in agitation, muttering to himself, "Ha ha ha, is that so? I thought my peerless looks would definitely add a lot of value to this painting. How embarrassing." Suddenly, the Taoist Taihua beside him turned dark, radiating a murderous aura. He gritted his teeth and sent a telepathic message, "Changyu, you brat, you can still laugh, didn't you hear? The value is worlds apart." Seeing this, Changyu stuck out his tongue in fear and stammered a persuasion, "Master, calm down, he hasn't said how much we lost yet, right?" At the same time, the manager looked at the portrait, and with an aggressive air gritted his teeth and weighed the value. "It has shrunk by at least tens of thousands of taels. What a tragic waste of a masterpiece." Hearing this, Taoist Taihua turned his head like a ghost, his eyes bloodshot and filled with murderous intent. He roared via telepathy, "My dear disciple, I really want to eat someone right now. I want to eat someone." Terrified, Changyu's face went pale as he reminded him, "Master, stay calm or we'll blow our cover." However, on the surface, Taoist Taihua maintained his sage-like aura and said flatly to the manager, "Enough nonsense, just give us a price. If it's lower than the other shops, we're leaving immediately." The pawnshop manager narrowed his eyes and smiled as he bargained. 10,000 taels, that's the highest we can offer. After all, this isn't a pure landscape and there's no inscribed poem. So, before he could finish, Taoist Taihua spat out a single word decisively. "Deal." This unexpected move from the sect leader of the Qingyun Dao sect made the manager exclaim, "Aren't you going to haggle?" Taoist Taihua casually urged, "No need, you have a kind face, just give us the money." Time passed, and outside the pawnshop the streets were bustling, walking down the road. Changyu caught up to Taoist Taihua and asked in confusion, "Master, I thought you would try another shop." He heard the explanation. "This is enough. One must know when to stop." His gaze was sharp. "Although he wasn't good at managing a sect, Taihua knew their own weight," he continued. "With our meager strength, if word gets out, could we escape? An ordinary man is innocent, but harboring a treasure makes him guilty." Then his attitude shifted, and he laughed heartily, listening to Changyu's praise. "Fortunately, Master was calm and witty. I hadn't even realized what was happening at the time." Taihua replied very smugly, "Of course, otherwise how could I be your master?" The two then looked at the large denomination silver note, ecstatic. Suddenly, Taihua held the note high and shouted, "This is 10,000 taels, we're rich, we're rich. I've never seen so much money in my life. The sect is finally saved." Following behind, Changyu clutched his chest, unable to stop grinning. But his joy didn't last long before Taihua smacked him on the head, making him cry out in pain. Taihua scolded, "By the way, you brat, who told you to paint a portrait? We lost tens of thousands of taels." Changyu rolled around in pain, wailing, "Ow, ow, ow, how was I supposed to know portraits weren't worth anything?" After venting his anger, Taihua looked at the silver note and muttered in deep thought, "What exactly is little Yi Ping's background? How many secrets is he keeping from us?" Hearing this, Changyu looked aside and speculated, "Maybe junior brother has his reasons. I don't think he's a bad person, maybe he doesn't even know himself, but what was with that expensive zone paper?" Taihua agreed. "I also don't think that kid is faking his innocence." Then his face darkened, and with a far-reaching gaze he decided on something important. "In that case, let this matter stay between us. Bury it in your heart and don't go poking around. Everyone has their secrets. When he wants to talk, he'll tell us naturally." Seeing the dark aura radiating from him, Changyu looked at the sect leader's back and commented, "It's rare to see you so serious. Given your character, I thought you'd go and scam a few more paintings out of him." Taihua suddenly said, "Enough nonsense. Let's go." This left Changyu confused. "Where are we going?" Taihua looked back, his eyes like those of a shady merchant, mysterious and vague. "Your junior brother helped the sect so much, as his master I must give him a gift." This confused Changyu even more. A gift? A moment later, the two stood before a 3-story building. A gold-lettered inscription on a red plaque read, "Miyuan Pavilion." Seeing this, Changyu's face darkened, and he asked in disbelief, "I say, Master, you aren't thinking of entering Miyuan Pavilion, are you?" That's it for today's episode. Everyone remember to follow the channel to watch the next episode. Changyu looked at Taoist Taihua, questioning his reality, and asked, "Master, have you become too arrogant? This is the biggest shop in Baguo City." However, Taihua stood with his hands behind his back and walked up the steps with grand momentum, replying, "What the hell are you afraid of? This money was earned by little junior brother anyway. Since he's a genius, we must go all out to nurture him. This is for the future of our Qingyun Dao sect. Don't mind that I'm usually greedy, lecherous, and unreliable. I'm very clear-headed at critical moments." In an instant he put on a rogue-like expression and used his fan to hide his devious thoughts, saying, "In the future, whether the sect rises to the 3rd, 2nd, or even 1st rank might all depend on him." Hearing this, Changyu rolled his eyes and shouted, feeling the sting in his wallet, "But this is Miyuan Pavilion. I heard it's terrifyingly expensive." But Taihua took out the silver note from the painting sale and teased his disciple excitedly, acting tough. "Is there anything more expensive than this?" Having said that, he turned toward the main entrance and continued, "Fine, stop talking. Act like a rich person. Be confident. The key to being a rich bro is confidence." As soon as they entered, they were greeted by 2 beautiful girls dressed scantily, constantly blowing kisses. "Welcome to Miyuan Pavilion. Please come in, immortals." Seeing the beauties, Taihua's old face turned red with excitement. He secretly marveled, "Wow, rich people's places are indeed wonderful." Looking at their ample curves and then remembering the old man from the pawn shop, his interest vanished. Just then, a girl walked over and asked him excitedly, "May I ask if you two are looking to buy Dharma treasures or secret manuals?" Taihua immediately put on an air of nouveau riche arrogance, shaking his paper fan and tilting his head back. He replied, "Secret manuals. Tell me straight, what's the price for the best ones?" Hearing this, she immediately played along sycophantically. I can tell at a glance that you are a man of character who wants top-tier goods. The receptionist placed her hands on her knees, showcasing a charming S-curve figure, and quoted with narrowed eyes, "A single first-rank manual in our shop costs about several 100,000 gold taels. It's currently our anniversary sale, so the price is 30 off." As soon as this number came out, Changyu's face turned pale. He was terrified, sweating profusely, his pupils shrinking and his mouth twisting as he stammered, How much?" The other girl tilted her head slightly and winked playfully. "Only several 100,000 gold taels. Sir, you won't find such a cheap price once the anniversary is over." These words left Changyu dejected, petrified on the spot as he complained internally. "Cheap? She calls a price of hundreds of thousands cheap? The world of the rich is truly beyond imagination. Poverty has limited my imagination." Suddenly Taihua leaned in. With a grim face and gritted teeth he whispered a reminder, "Gold taels, stay calm, don't blow our cover." Changyu, however, was already drenched in sweat, lamenting, "But master, our money isn't even enough for one book. I told you not to come in." However, no matter how much his eldest disciple cowered in fear, Taihua remained cold. He tucked away his smile and asked the salesgirl, "Beautiful, I want to ask, what is the price for the introductory version?" Hearing this, the girl was filled with question marks. Thinking the customer had made a mistake, she asked in confusion, "Only the introductory level? Are you sure? What use could an introductory version have?" To the side, Taihua answered calmly with total confidence, "Never mind if it's useful or not. I'm asking if you have it." These words made the girl turn serious as she reminded him, "We have it, but I advise you to reconsider. Our shop does not accept returns." Despite this, he insisted on buying and asked for the price of a first-rank introductory version. The girl replied somewhat hesitantly, "That price is naturally much cheaper." Meanwhile, Changyu was once again dumbfounded, trying to persuade his troublemaking sect leader. "Calm down, master. Don't copy my posturing just for the sake of face. Why would you spend 10,000 taels on a useless introductory technique?" Taihua blocked him with his hand and said with a shrewd look, "Useless, my ass. Did you forget how freakish your junior brother's comprehension is? The introductory level is enough." Hearing this, Changyu felt as if he had been struck by lightning. He suddenly realized, "Oh right, how could I forget? He could comprehend an entire set just from a sword mark one randomly made. So what will happen with an actual introductory manual?" Then the devil inside him was revived. His eyes lit up and he gave a thumbs up to praise Taihua. "Exactly, master is right. For that freakish junior brother, the introductory version is definitely enough. No problem at all, we're going to make a killing this time." A moment later, the salesgirl returned with a tray holding the books and said, "I just asked the manager. These 3 first-rank introductory manuals can be sold separately." Hearing Taihua ask, "Which one is the most powerful?" the girl held the books, glancing to the left as if recalling the contents of each. She then shared, "The most powerful, that would be this one, the River Sword Technique section. It is called that because once mastered, the sword's momentum is as relentless and surging as a great river. Truly terrifying. Moreover, it is connected to even higher-level techniques. If someone with exceptional comprehension studies it, they might even have an epiphany and realize the next stage, the Spirit Sea Sword Technique." She then narrowed her eyes and quoted the price to Taoist Taihua. But this was also the most expensive one. Buying just the introductory chapter would cost 9,000 gold taels. This made Taihua's head lurch as if his soul had left his body. He was secretly horrified. A mere introductory chapter costs this much? After a moment of deep thought, as if some nerve had snapped, Taoist Taihua suddenly radiated an imposing aura. He thought, "Damn it, I'm going all in. If I'm buying the most expensive one here." He widened his eyes, opened his mouth and roared, "Wrap it up." Not only that, but under Changyu's dumbfounded gaze, Taihua pointed to several items on the shelf and said he would use the remaining money to buy some high-grade chi refining and chi boosting pills. Changyu rushed to stop him, asking, "Master, are you really not going to leave a little for emergencies?" He replied with unusual determination, "Since I said we're going all out to nurture him, then we go all out. I'll fight for this even if it kills me." This decisiveness made Changyu's eyes bulge and his jaw drop. He never expected his usually unreliable scamming master to be so loyal and generous at this moment. He then narrowed his eyes and teased, "Master, you haven't been possessed today, have you?" Meanwhile, Taoist Taihua was already in tears, pulling out that silver note with agonizing pain. Heartbroken, he muttered to himself, "Nonsense, my 10,000 taels, oh my 10,000 taels." Seeing him clutching the money so tightly he wouldn't let go, the salesgirl had to remind him, "Please let go, sir. Are you buying this or not?" A moment later, at the shop entrance, Taoist Taihua was teary-eyed, completely petrified, being helped out by Changyu. He sobbed as he walked, "It still hurts so much, Changyu. It really hurts." This made Changyu incredibly embarrassed, and he said helplessly, "Master, you've been crying the whole way. It's very humiliating for me." Suddenly, Taihua let out a startled cry, his eyes wide. "All right, I just remembered. Don't your second and third junior brothers have to take the Alchemist and Array Master exams at the end of the year?" Changyu also snapped out of it and replied, "I think so. Why are you going back in to buy more?" "But we're out of money." Hearing this, Taoist Taihua rolled his eyes in anger and loudly denied it. How could I go back? Those two haven't even let me withdraw money lately. They're annoying enough as it is. Then he suddenly shouted, "Come on, master will take you to a great place with treasures." These words left Su Changyu utterly confused. Then he heard the sounds of hawking. Secret manual clearance sale, secret manual clearance sale. A pot-bellied boss was sitting cross-legged behind a roadside stall, smiling with narrowed eyes as he promoted his goods. Sold by the pound, 12 gold taels per pound. Buying is earning, no scams, no regrets. Seeing Taihua and Su Changyu, the boss enthusiastically beckoned them. "You two want a pound?" Looking at the scene before him, Su Changyu fell into deep self-doubt. Who am I? Where am I? His brain could not keep up with his master's train of thought at all. "This is the great place with treasures you were talking about." To the side, Taihua patted Su Changyu's shoulder and explained with a meaningful smile, "Don't look down on it just because it's cheap. You can really find treasures in here. Otherwise, where do you think your 4 seasons sword technique came from?" These words exploded in his mind like a thunderbolt. Su Changyu froze on the spot and blurted out, "What the hell?" before his disciple could react. Taihua had already stepped forward to bargain. 10 taels a pound, are you a highwayman? 10 silver taels for 10 pounds, sell it to me and I'll buy some. But the stall owner waved him off. "That won't do. These are all high-quality goods." Taihua immediately cursed him out. "Quality my ass, who are you trying to scare? Hurry up, are you selling or not? If not, we're leaving right now." Seeing this, the stall owner quickly tried to negotiate. 5 pounds at most, while Taoist Taihua was acting like he'd been injected with chicken blood. Shouting at the top of his lungs to haggle with the owner, Su Changyu crouched down to flip through a stack of books. Immediately, his brow furrowed, his mouth hung open in disbelief, and his expression looked as if his entire worldview had been shattered. That pile of books actually contained all sorts of bizarre and ridiculous titles, ranging from Martial Dao's Sacred Fetus developing the perfect vision to the Martial General. Hard work eventually leads to the day of soaring, and from the 10 dragons, 10 elephant spirit art to the scandalous The Mistress Knocks on My Door at Midnight. The more he looked, the paler Su Changyu's face became. Cold sweat poured down as he fell into extreme panic, recalling what his master had just said. "Don't look down on it just because it's cheap. You can really find treasures in here." He gritted his teeth in rage, cursing inwardly. What kind of crap could anyone possibly learn from these? If someone can actually master anything from this, I'll eat 3 pounds of boogers right here in front of the audience. That's it for today's episode. Everyone, remember to follow the channel to watch the next episode.